Welcome to the Gary Gordon Theater. There really is a difference. Try our melted cheese on raisinets. Movie trivia question. Who is Will Sampson? Senior citizen discounts available. Please place trash in the receptacles in the lobby. Remember, we love babies as much as you, but if your baby is crying, please deposit it in the receptacle in the lobby. In case of emergency, please use the exit. Try our melted chemical-filled cheese on our day-old popcorn. You can use the exits when you leave, even if it isn't an emergency. Movie trivia question. Who is Will Sampson? No smoking by order of someone with incredible sense and forethought. And now, coming attractions, rated PG.
Quincentennial Productions proudly presents its new blockbuster release, First Encounters. See the Spanish destruction of Native American culture celebrated as the advance of civilization. See the Italian treasure hunter and slaver Christopher Columbus presented as pious and heroic. See Native American slaves portrayed simply as laborers. See the racism of the past compounded by the racism of the present. Hear co-producer Gerbil Milquetoast declare,
"We know Columbus didn't discover America, and we know that what the Spanish did to the indigenous cultures was horrendous. But we also knew there was a lot of money out there to promote Columbus. So who needs intellectual integrity when there's money at stake?"
Hear Milquetoast describe those who oppose his narrow, expedient views as ignorant, much the same as the Spanish described the natives they first encountered 500 years ago. See fascist attitudes disguised as academic conclusions, and see racism disguised as higher education. Starring Eddie Haskell as co-producer Gerbil Milquetoast, Jimmy Smits as Russell Means. First Encounters, coming soon to a museum near you.
Also coming soon from the same production company, Hitler Was Right, the tender tale of how the Nazis discovered and brought civilization to Europe by taking simple, ignorant natives and turning them into laborers. First Encounters and Hitler Was Right, coming soon.
Remember, we like conversation just as much as you do. Maybe even more. But please, don't talk during the movie. If you do, we'll pour our melted cheese over your head. Movie trivia question. Who was Will Sampson? There really is a difference. And now, our feature presentation. Once upon a time, men from far away were looking for a passageway to get from here to there. Can anyone tell me who I am talking about?
Are you talking about Columbus looking for a route to China from Spain?
No, but that is a good guess.
De Soto?
No, you are thinking about the first time men from far away were looking for a passageway. This is a little bit more recent.
You must be talking about Cornelius Vanderbilt.
Continue.
Cornelius Vanderbilt started a shipping line from Bluefields to Managua in Nicaragua in the 1850s. He wanted to make a passage from here to there.
And then what happened?
The Estados Unidos decided to build a canal to Nicaragua. but Nicaragua would not let them.
So the United States seized land from Colombia and created the country of Panama so they could build their canal so they could get from here to there.
And when was that?
At the turn of the century.
And what year is it now?
It is 1990.
And tell me, what is so funny about all of this?
Okay. The men from far away are still trying to get from here to there?
Very good. Now, let us practice occupied conversational English. Repeat after me.
Repeat after me.
We are a weak people.
We are a weak people.
Our nation was created by foreigners.
Our nation was created by foreigners.
Mi única misión en la vida es para servir sus intereses negociales.
He says, my only mission in life is to serve your corporate interests.
Haré cualquier cosa que ustedes quieren con el canal.
He says, I will do whatever you want with the canal.
No me queje de la intervención de los Estados Unidos. Somos un pueblo débil. Nuestra nación fue instigada por extranjeros y a nosotros nos gusta la dominación external.
He says, I did not object to American intervention. We are a weak people. Our nation was created by foreigners. We welcome foreign domination.
Okay, thank him for the audition. Tell him we're still looking. Okay. Presidential candidates over here. Military strongmen over there. Next.
Good evening, Jim. Your mission this week, should you decide to accept it, is to arrange for the assassination of the deposed Panamanian dictator Manuel Noriega by members of the Medellin Colombian drug cartel. Noriega is currently at the Vatican Embassy in Panama City, Panama, under the protection of the Papal Nuncio. The embassy is surrounded by U.S. Army troops. As usual, if you or any of your team is caught, you're up the creek without a paddle. Good luck. Oh, and Jim, because of the new congressional regulations regarding the disposal of incriminating tapes, this tape will not self-destruct. Please drop it in Prince William Sound on your way to Panama.
Hello, Medellin Drug Cartel. Will you hold, please?
Yes.
Hello, Medellin Drug Cartel. Who are you holding for?
This is Tony.
Please don't use your real name on this phone, sir.
That's not my real name. It's my code name.
Thank you, Tony. Who do you wish to speak to?
I need to speak to Arturo. It's an emergency.
Which Arturo, Tony? Arturo the Contra or Arturo the drug lord?
I thought they were the same person.
I'll put you right through.
This is Arturo. To whom am I speaking?
Arturo, this is Tony.
Jim, good to hear from you. What can I do for you today?
It's not what you can do for me. It's what I can do for you.
I have a funny feeling about this already, Jim.
I've picked up some information I think you can use. The Vatican and Bush and Noriega are about to make a deal. The Vatican gives Noriega to Bush, and Bush lets him off easy as long as Noriega sings like a bird about your business there in Colombia, which gives us an excuse to hit you guys with everything we've got.
That is some deal. What do you think we should do?
Well, I think it's obvious, Arturo. If you want to protect your business, you've got to put a stop to Noriega.
I guess you are right, Jim. And what do you want for this information?
Just keep me in mind. I'll call you when I need a favor.
Buenas tardes, Jim.
Viva Zapata, Arturo.
Viva Zapata. What do you mean by that, Jim? Long live my shoes?
Sayonara.
Ciao.
Arturo, who was that on the phone?
It was Jim from the CIA. He wants us to assassinate Noriega.
But why?
He says Noriega, the Pope, and the Americans have made a deal. They will go light on Noriega as long as he tells them all about us.
Does that make sense, Arturo?
Nothing makes sense, Juan. Remember, ever since we learned that our people did not exist until Columbus discovered us, nothing has made sense.
That's right, I forgot.
But I do not think this is, how do the Americans say, on the up and up. I think perhaps they want us to kill Noriega so that they have another thing to blame on us.
Then what will we do?
I will think about this. I must have a plan.
Do you think he bought it, Jim?
I don't know. I think we might have to put the team together.
Great. Let's look at all these photographs.
There's Gloria, the blonde bombshell.
Yeah, she should be on the team.
And Mojo, the black man who can get anything working, from a personal computer to a 56 Chevy.
Yeah, Mojo.
And, what's his name? The master of disguises.
Yeah, what's his name?
And Sylvia, with the multiple identities.
Yeah, Sylvia.
Oh, and here's a shot of you.
Yeah, me. What do I do?
You're the surfer and weightlifter.
Oh, yeah, right.
Call them and tell them to be here tonight at, 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
No, wait. Make it 9. I want to watch my favorite TV shows before they come over.
And now it's time once again for that fantastic news show that gives you all the news with a smile. It's the Having a Good Time with the News show with your delightful news hosts, Biff Revox and Heather Boutique.
Hi, Heather.
Hi, Biff.
Is that a new dress you're wearing?
Yes, it is, Biff. Do you like it?
It's beautiful. A Christmas present.
Yes, it was, Biff. How was your Christmas?
Well, I got these socks, see?
Ooh, Biff, they're so colorful.
Got this watch, too.
It's beautiful. I got these earrings.
I'm glad you had a good Christmas, Heather.
So am I, Biff.
Want to do some news?
Okay by me, Biff.
There's lots and lots of headlines, Heather. Why don't you start?
Okay, Biff.
I really love that dress.
I love those socks, Biff. Okay, in the headlines, Russia tells U.S. not to push for German reunification. Germany plans reunification. Civil war continues in Salvador. Civil war continues in the Philippines. Other civil wars continue. And red underwear sales plummet. Biff?
Shooting between armies continues. Bush is criticized for sending secret missions to China. Bush continues to defend the secret trips. Czechoslovakia elects a playwright as president. U.S. troops invade the house of a Nicaraguan diplomat in Panama. Nicaragua expels 20 U.S. diplomats. Camouflage clothing makes a comeback. Witchcraft is out, and 1990 begins.
Biff, it sure does seem like with peace breaking out all over, there's still a lot of fighting going on.
Yes, there does, Heather.
Why is that, Biff?
I don't know, Heather. I just don't know, but that's why we've got our foreign correspondent, Steve Trenches, on the satellite hookup. He's on location and ready to tell us what the fighting is all about. Steve, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Biff. This is Steve Trenches, foreign correspondent, standing overseas on location. Behind me, you can hear the sound of gunfire of government troops and rebels. I talked earlier today with representatives of the Contras, the FMLN, the Panamanian Armed Forces, the Philippine Armed Forces, the U.S. State Department, the U.S.-backed Salvadoran death squads, 3 dead Jesuit priests, executives of 3 luxury hotel chains located in global hotspots, students of the Chinese pro-democracy movement, and with some American actors filming a Vietnam War movie on the coast of Normandy in France. Biff, it's a confusing situation. The U.S. State Department denies everything. Panama insists they have the right to run their own country. Cory Aquino is beleaguered. The Salvadoran death squad say they have rights too. The dead Jesuit priests aren't talking. The executives of the world's leading luxury hotels are hiring mercenaries, and some are promoting the hostage breakfast plan. The Chinese students are inscrutable, and all I can get out of the movie crew on the coast of France is Blessed Bon Cœur Dieu Langue Monotone. Back to you, Biff.
We take you now to our correspondent, Bob Erie, in Panama.
This is Bob Erie coming to you from outside the Vatican Embassy, where U.S. forces have resumed the playing of loud rock and roll music in order to force the Vatican to ditch Noriega. With me is Airman Wolfman Jack, in charge of programming the music here at the siege. Wolfman, how do you decide what to play?
Well, Bob, during the morning rush and afternoon drive, I play the hits. But we like to open up the request line during the mid-afternoon and in the evening. And then late in the evening, we like to play the satanic music just to keep things a little interesting.
What are the tunes our boys are requesting?
Well, let's just throw open the request lines and see. All right, babies, it's Wolfman Jack. You're on the air.
Wolfman, I'd like to hear I Go to Rio by Peter Allen. It's a hard day's night. Rolling the Headless Thompson Gunner. Purple Haze.
Like anything by the Grateful Dead, coming into Los Angeles by Arlo Guthrie.
Dylan's Everybody Must Get Stoned. Wolfman, I got a special request. The dedication.
All right, go ahead, soldier.
Yeah, this goes out to my buddy Roger. He was killed at the airport on the first night of the invasion. Could you play his favorite song?
All right, what would you like to hear?
Roadhouse Blues by The Doors.
All right, going out to Roger from his buddy who's still alive. It's The Doors with Roadhouse Blues.
This is Bob Erie at the front lines of the invasion. Back to you, Heather.
Mr. President, the plan is in effect.
Which plan is that, Tom?
That's the one, Mr. President.
Good work, Tom.
Mr. President, I still think we should have gone with the other plan.
Which one?
The hostage rescue plan. The one where we say that Noriega and his people have seized the Vatican embassy and are holding the embassy staff, and we have to go in and rescue them.
I don't know, Tom. That would be risky.
It's a gutsy thing to do, Mr. President, and that way we achieve the prime objective.
Which prime objective?
Noriega gets blown away.
Oh, right, that prime objective. No, I still don't like it. Remember what happened to Jimmy Carter when he tried to rescue hostages?
But that was because he was actually trying to rescue them. We wouldn't be. We'd just go in and blow everybody away.
Well, let's stick with the other plan for now, okay?
Well, okay.
And tell Brent he's got the green light for another secret mission to China while the world is still busy watching what we're doing in Panama.
What kind of a boy was Roger?
Who's Roger?
The one who died, whose buddy called Wolfman Jack to play his favorite song.
I guess Roger was the guy who liked the Doors.
Roger was a brave young man who liked the Doors. When he was a kid, he wanted to be a fireman.
Well, son, what do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be a fireman, Daddy.
Why is that, son?
Because I like fire trucks.
Isn't that cute?
But you don't want him to be a fireman, do you, Dad?
No, he's got to be someone.
Cub Scout.
Boy Scout.
Little League.
Junior varsity.
Austin.
We're getting there.
But wait a minute. What about the Army?
You, son, in the Army.
After all, the unknown soldier was someone once.
Marching home again, hurrah, hurrah. We'll give him a hearty welcome then, hurrah, hurrah. The men will cheer, the boys will shout, the ladies they will all turn out and we'll all feel gay.
Hi there. You don't know me. As a matter of fact, no one knows me. I was someone once, but now I'm just the unknown soldier. I know you, though. You're the taxpayer. You're the one who made it possible for me to be where I am today. You paid for my training, equipment, transportation, services, weapons, death, and my life after death. See that guard out there? Yes, that's right. The one marching back and forth, going nowhere. You pay him, too. You pay him to guard me. I wonder why. I can't get out of here, but I don't mind being guarded. Only it's lonely in here. See if you can give me some company.
Well, son, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Gee, I don't know, Dad.
Remember when you wanted to be a fireman?
Yeah. Gee, that's funny. That was a long time ago.
Well, son, I think you should join the Army. Some of our greatest soldiers wanted to be firemen.
Hi there, it's me, the unknown soldier again. I wanted to be a fireman.
Dad, what about college? What about the price of tea in China?
What about you?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I was just walking along the street when you came up and asked, what about me? I mean, like, what about me what?
And finally in the news, the results of the latest Harrop poll today indicated that 79% of the people, when asked, what about you, replied, what about me what? 13% said, what about yourself? And 7% had no opinion.
Did you get in touch with everyone?
They'll be here.
Okay, I'm gonna watch some TV.
Forces have taken up positions around and are providing protection for all of the luxury hotels in Central America. Rebels are being warned to stay away. Rebels are reminded that the secret police of our puppet presidents will kill priests, and they'll keep killing priests until the rebels quit rebelling. Once again, stay away from the luxury hotels. If the rebels attack a luxury hotel, they will be branded as terrorists.
I don't want to watch the news.
Please welcome our next guest on Who's Our Puppet, the newly installed president of Panama, Guillermo Andara.
Thank you, Richard. A pleasure to be here.
And our first question to you is, where should Noriega be brought to trial?
In Panama.
Oh, wrong!
In the United States.
That's correct! Who's our puppet?
Many contestants on Who's Our Puppet get to line their pockets and fill Swiss bank accounts while ruling small third-world nations as long as they continue to do the bidding of their internationally recognized sponsoring superpower. Failure to follow the rules and to carry out the will of the sponsoring superpower may result in disqualification, elimination, deportation, military or civilian trial on whatever charges, real or imagined, we choose, and or termination with extreme prejudice.
I hate game shows. Where's that sitcom?
Next, the exciting sitcom that has everybody sitting in tons of mail. At Home with the Homeless.
So, I see you got today's paper on your head.
It's cold out. Makes a good hat.
Let me see. I see here it says one reporter asked the president why we invaded Panama.
And what did the president say?
It says the president said it was because one soldier was killed and another was beaten up and his wife was sexually threatened.
One soldier was killed?
Yeah.
One soldier was beaten up?
Yeah.
And one soldier's wife was sexually threatened?
That's right.
And that's why he launched the biggest invasion since Vietnam?
That's what it says, he said.
24,000 troops?
That's what it says.
I guess the next time we want some anti-crime law enforcement in this neighborhood, all we gotta do is beat up somebody and threaten somebody.
Yeah, and right away they'll send in the 82nd Airborne.
Maybe we should put up a sign. This is an 82nd Airborne Watch neighborhood.
We interrupt this program with this emergency news bulletin. We take you now to our New York network headquarters for this news bulletin.
Good evening, I'm Biff Revox. This news just in. East Germans are reportedly breaking down the Great Wall of China. I don't understand it either, but on the scene is our foreign correspondent, Harvey Bunker. Harvey!
Beth, I'm standing here on the Russian side of the Russian-Chinese border where hundreds of East Germans are feverishly hacking and pounding away with hammers at the Great Wall of China in an effort to break it down. I talked with the Soviet Army spokesperson who asked that his name be used, Vladimir Perestroika Vodka. He told me that this was part of the deal between the East Germans and the Russians. That is, the Russians would permit East Germany to tear down the Berlin Wall if the East Germans would also tear down the Great Wall of China. However, one of the East Germans said there was no deal, that they really just enjoy their newfound freedom to tear down walls. Back to you, Biff.
Thank you, Harvey. And now, on the other side of the wall, our foreign correspondent, Bert Trench.
Biff, I'm standing here on the Chinese side of the wall eating some delicious Peking duck. I've just spoken with a representative of the Chinese government who's got one of those names that I could never get right in a million years. He says this is just a stunt concocted by the pro-democracy students, and he says if these kids were in school, in fraternities, hazing each other like they should be doing, they wouldn't have time or energy for this nonsense. However, another source of mine who's got one of those really tough German names says this is the beginning of the Fourth Reich. Today, China, tomorrow the world. Back to you, Biff.
There you have it. East Germans tearing down the Great Wall of China. Why? We don't know. Who's behind it? We're not sure, but we'll continue to bring you the details as they happen. Now, we return you to your regularly scheduled programming already in progress.
This has been a special news bulletin brought to you by Deckenblacker, makers of quality hammers all over the world.
I hate news bulletins.
Languages around the world. For example, Ceausescu.
Ceausescu.
Ja, Ceausescu dem verstunken Murmurers.
Ja, Ceausescu dem verstunken Murmurers.
This means, I will massacre the troublesome rioters.
I will massacre the troublesome rioters.
Deng Xiaoping bu xiang zi hong chang duk.
Deng Xiaoping bu xiang zi hong chang duk.
Our democracy is good enough for Bush because we are a big potential market.
Our democracy is good enough for Bush because we are a big potential market.
And now from Japan.
Hirohito Iwo Jima Nagasaki Sayonara Sake Sake Sake.
Hirohito Iwo Jima Nagasaki Sayonara Sake Sake Sake.
This means all they do about our fantastic economy is whine, whine, whine.
All they do about our fantastic economy is whine, whine, whine.
До свидания, перестройка, гласность Ленинграда, Анастасия Толстой, большевик, Камчатка.
До свидания, перестройка, гласность Ленинграда, Анастасия Толстой, большевик, Камчатка.
Pardon me, but I forgot my map. Do you know where the bus to the airport stops?
Pardon me, but I forgot my map. Do you know where the bus to the airport stops?
And in German. Ich bin verboten, Auschwitz, Munich, Nürnberg, mein Kampf essen, Wolfgang, Mozart, Mussolini, Schickel, Gruber, über alles Rheinland.
Ich bin verboten, Auschwitz, Munich, Nürnberg, mein Kampf essen, Wolfgang, Mozart, Mussolini, Schickel, Gruber, über alles Rheinland.
I am a peace-loving person from a recently reunified country, and I am interested in great Italian food.
I am a peace-loving person from a recently reunified country, and I am interested in great Italian food.
And our last lesson, in Spanish. Let us try the conversation that we practiced last week. Hola.
Hola.
¿Cómo está usted?
Muy bien. ¿Y tú?
Yo soy amigo Sierralito Lindo.
¡Viva Zapata!
¿Qué?
Guevara.
Sí. ¿Dónde está Noriega?
Noriega está en el baño.
Sí, muy bien, clase.
That must be the team.
Great. Lesson's over anyway. I love that show.
Hi, Sylvia. Hi, Mojo. Hi, Gloria. Hi, what's his name?
Hi, Ed.
Hi.
Come on in, team. We've got a job to do.
What's the buzz?
Recognize this photo?
That's a photograph of a pineapple.
Right, but not any ordinary pineapple. That's Manuel Noriega, the deposed dictator of Panama.
Looks like a Del Monte.
He has to be hit.
Terminated with extreme prejudice.
I never liked that phrase.
Now, our job is to get the Medellin drug cartel to hit him. Or to hit him so it looks like the drug cartel did it. Anybody got any ideas?
Call your buddies in the drug cartel and tell them to hit Noriega. And we won't lean on them as hard in the drug war.
I've already asked them to hit Noriega, to stop Noriega from squealing about the cartel.
But you don't know if they'll go through with it?
That's right. So we've got to have a backup plan, just in case.
Why don't we just claim that he's taking some hostages at the Vatican Embassy and charge them there like the LA SWAT team and kill them?
Where'd you hear that idea?
The president's press spokesman, Marlon Fitzwater, said that this country reserves the right to go in and rescue hostages in the event that Noriega and his men seize the embassy. I figured he was just laying the ground for the action.
Damn leaks to the press. And they reported what he said?
It was live on TV.
They're so irresponsible.
So what about the plan, Jim?
It's a backup plan, but we've got to come up with our own plan.
So, what's the plan?
Well, it's got to be something where Mojo gets to get something working. Gloria gets to be stunning and seductive. What's-his-name gets to use at least one of his disguises. Sylvia gets to use at least one of her multiple personalities.
I could be Henry Kissinger.
And Ed gets to lift something really heavy.
Sounds like a good plan to me.
I like it.
All right, let's synchronize watches. Everybody, 10:22. Ed?
10:22.
Gloria?
10:22.
What's his name?
10:20 also.
Sylvia?
10:22.
Mojo?
Wait, mine's busted.
I'm telling you, it can't miss. Ollie North in an Ollie Stone picture. Can he act? Of course he can. Will they work together? Hey, this is Hollywood, babe. If the deal is right, anyone will work with anyone. Leave it to me, babe. Semper Fi to what? It's going to be a blockbuster. Listen, my special line's ringing. We'll talk soon. Hello?
Babe, is that you?
Arturo?
Yes, it is me.
It's me too.
Buenas tardes, my friend.
What can I do for you?
My people have been asked to do a rather dirty job by an American intelligence agent. If we are not successful, the future of the cartel may be at stake.
Hey, don't give me gloom and doom. Tell me how I can help.
We need you to pretend that you are making a movie in Panama, so we can use that as cover to do our job.
Panama? Panama? There's a war going on down there. I mean, shooting, snipers, people getting killed. Hey, if I was gonna make a war picture, I'd go to the Philippines or Georgia.
No, it must be Panama. Within 24 hours, you must have a cast and crew at the Holiday Inn Hotel next to the Vatican Embassy. One of my men, a man named Carlos, will join you there. He will tell you what to do. If you cannot do this for me, my friend, I will be forced to reveal to the American intelligence community certain facts about the use of drugs in Hollywood.
Hey, no problem. No problem. A deal's a deal, babe.
No, you are babe. I am Arturo.
Right. They'll be there.
Adios.
Auf Wiedersehen. Sally!
Yes, sir.
Sally, get the gang in here right away. We've got to write and cast a movie and send out the cast and crew in the next 18 hours.
Can that be done?
If it can't be done, my name isn't Babe.
Uh-oh. Your name really isn't Babe.
Now, never mind that. Hurry! Panama! What's going on down there?
Announced today that the Panama Canal has been turned over to Panamanian administration as called for by the 1977 treaty. This is being treated as an unrelated story, totally separate and having nothing to do with the recent invasion. And President Bush traveled to Texas today to talk with wounded survivors of the invasion. More on that from our correspondent, Trish Otrana in Texas. Trish?
Thanks, Heather. I'm here at the hospital where the president is visiting with the wounded soldiers. Let's listen.
How are you doing, son?
It seems the young man the president is talking to was, wounded in the jaw.
I bet you're proud to fight for your country.
Back to you, Heather.
Thanks, Trish. That was touching. And now, here's more Target with our entertainment news report.
Thanks, Heather. Now here's the entertainment news. Rumors have it that Hollywood super agent Babe Lunch is planning a blockbuster film about Central America that will begin shooting tomorrow in Panama. Sources close to Babe said the movie will be a black comedy about American foreign policy and corrupt Latin American dictators, set against a background of poverty and drugs. The cast, under wraps at this time, is all-star with some talented newcomers. Titled Yankee Go Home, the movie is sure to be controversial and commercially successful. Back to you, Heather.
Thanks, Mort. And now, with our panel discussion of topical events, here's Biff Revox.
Thank you, Heather. Tonight we look at the swirl of international events with our guests, Richard Nixon and Jimmy Carter. Richard, when were you president?
I was president from 1968 to 1974.
Jimmy?
1976 to 1980, Biff.
So, Jimmy, you were president when the Canal Treaty was signed.
Yes.
He certainly was.
And you were president when the Sandinistas overthrew Somoza in Nicaragua.
Yes.
He certainly was.
And Richard, you were president during the Vietnam War and Watergate.
I certainly was.
Could either of you men give us some insight as to what's going on in the world?
Biff, I think it's interesting that not one American soldier was needed to participate in the overthrow of the governments of Poland, Czechoslovakia, Romania, and East Germany.
Biff, I don't know what we're doing in Panama. The real object is to build a sea-level canal, because that's what we really need. And the only place that can be done is through Nicaragua. So unless this is all just a warm-up for an invasion of Nicaragua, I think it's all just a waste of time.
How do you explain our government having a man like Noriega on the CIA payroll since 1977, putting him in power in 1984?
As I've often said, Biff, Washington works in mysterious ways.
Washington giveth and Washington taketh away, Biff.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Sally, where's the gang?
Here they are.
Cy, Bud, Jeannie, come on in, grab a seat.
Hi, babe.
All right, the word's already out on our latest picture, so we'd better write it fast. It's called Yankee Go Home. The setting is Central America. We shoot the opening scenes in Panama at the Holiday Inn Hotel, right next to the Vatican Embassy. American military, corrupt dictators, poverty, drugs. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay, Cy, what do you got?
Okay. I see a modern-day Macbeth. We give him a Spanish name. Heck, use Noriega's name. Anyway, he believes that witches have told him that he will one day rule his country. So he makes deals with America and deals with Cuba. Since he makes the right deals, he ends up ruling his country. But because he's dealing with both sides, he ends up on the run. And he hides out in the Vatican Embassy, praying to the witches to help him out of the jam.
Ooh, I like it.
We even open it just like the play. The witches are standing over a pot, maybe throwing different drugs into the pot and chanting, "Boil, boil, toil and trouble."
The witches tell him to wear red underwear.
Jeannie, who do we get for the part?
You want to start shooting tomorrow, right?
Got to.
Okay, I can get Edward James Olmos for the dictator, Jessica Lange and Cher for the witches. Now, is there going to be a good guy in this?
Cy?
Sure. Someone who works for the State Department. He wants to do the right thing, but he's crippled by official policy.
William Hurt.
Perfect.
We need a crafty CIA agent.
James Woods.
No, he's gone straight.
How about Robert Duvall?
Good.
And a general.
Brian Dennehy.
Great, but maybe gruffer.
Charles Durning? Ned Beatty?
Can you get all three?
Your wish is my command.
We need a presidential press spokesman.
John Lovick.
Perfect.
And 2 young soldiers.
Charlie Sheen and Tom Cruise are busy. Sean Penn needs work. And Judge Reinhold wants to do drama.
Penn and Reinhold, yes, great.
And their girlfriends back home.
Demi Moore and, Leah Thompson.
Ooh, solid.
Who's directing?
Jeannie?
You got your choice. Robert Altman, Sidney Lumet, Spike Lee, John Sayles, Michael Cimino, or Francis Coppola.
Tough call.
Is it a comedy or a drama?
Well, you're the writers.
Let's make it both a comedy and a drama.
Then Altman it is. Now, I want to see a script in 3 hours, and I want everyone on the plane by tomorrow at noon.
The following is a special presentation on the state of education in our country. It was filmed last year in a typical American junior high school. Stay tuned after this special presentation for William Buckley, Milton Friedman, George Schultz, and Timothy Leary as they answer questions regarding their positions on legalizing drugs. And now we present Classroom 90.
Okay, class. Pop quiz.
I know.
I haven't asked the question yet.
But teacher, the accuracy of the answer doesn't matter. It's my enthusiasm that counts.
You've got some strange ideas. Okay. When did the Japanese attack Pearl Harbor?
Ooh, September 7th, 1941.
That's incorrect. It was December 7th.
But the president said September.
He's wrong.
Are you a liberal?
I'll ask the questions here. Now, where is Panama?
Panama's in the canal and was part of the United States until we gave it away.
Gave it away to whom?
The communists.
Is Noriega a communist?
Well, he smuggled arms to the Sandinistas.
Well, we sold arms to the Ayatollah. Does that make us right-wing fundamentalists? Never mind.
Actually, Noriega also smuggled arms to the Contras, so he's on both sides.
Okay, where is Vietnam? No one knows? Anyone? Okay. Is the Atlantic Ocean west of the United States or east of the United States? No one? No one knows? Okay. Who is the guitarist for the Rolling Stones?
Keith Richards.
Let's talk about something relevant.
Okay. Like what?
Like resumes. My dad says I'm not in school to learn history or geography. He says I need good resume skills.
Some other time. Today we're going to have a talk from our special visitor, Officer Friendly. He's going to talk to us about drugs.
Just say no.
Thank you, Officer Friendly. Are there any questions?
Yes. Is Noriega a drug smuggler?
Yes.
And wasn't Noriega also in the payroll of the CIA?
I think so, yes.
So isn't it hypocritical to tell us not to use drugs and at the same time have my parents' tax dollars going to support the extravagant lifestyle of a power-hungry, drug-dealing Central American dictator?
It's not my job to think about that. I'm here to tell you not to use drugs.
Instead of saying no, shouldn't we just say Noriega?
Did you fight in Vietnam?
Yes, I did.
Did you smoke pot?
Pot destroys your memory, son.
Did you smoke pot?
I don't remember.
Why did Indiana Quail cross the road?
Because he was a chicken.
Officer, do you think Indiana Quail was a chicken, or was he just a coward?
Boys, I don't think it's respectful to make fun of a man who is our vice president and is therefore a heartbeat away from the presidency.
That's a cop-out.
That's okay. I'm a cop.
This message has been brought to you by the National Free Association in Education Association, in the hopes that the next time you talk about geography, foreign policy, history, drugs, or philosophy, you'll remember that the knowledge you save may be your own.
Setting up in the Holiday Inn was a good idea, Jim.
Thanks, Ed. Now move that couch over there. Good.
Is that all I get to lift?
Ed, you know something always goes wrong. You may have to lift something else before we're done. Remember, though, you've got to get us out to the ship on those surfboards.
Right. I just hope everything is going well with what's-his-name and Glory.
Their job is to get Wolfman Jack out of the way so what's-his-name can use Wolfman Jack's voice over the loudspeakers to order troops to hold their fire. Gloria can lure Wolfman Jack away, and what's-his-name is a great impressionist, so I'm sure they won't have any problems.
All right, babies, all right. This is Wolfman Jack, and whoa, babies, I got a beautiful visitor here in the DJ booth. You just listen to this, I'll be right back. What can I do for you, honey?
You could follow me into the other room for a start.
All right, baby. Oh, baby.
Quick, what's his name? You've got to take his place. The record's almost over.
All right, babies. No, that's not it. All right, babies.
Almost.
All right, babies. This is Wolfman Jack.
Oh, that's it. Now quick, get on the microphone.
All right. This is Wolfman Jack with a special message going out to our friends in Panama. Laissez-moi de une langue monotone.
Jim, that's it. That's the coded message.
Right, Ed. That's the coded message. They're in position. Now it's up to Sylvia and Mojo.
Mr. President, we're getting complaints from the manufacturers of red underwear. They're saying that all the negative publicity surrounding Noriega has resulted in sharply declining sales. They'd like you to make a statement that denounces Noriega but praises red underwear. They said to remind you that an off-year election is coming up.
Red underwear? Red underwear? Let me tell you something, Tom. We had a legal right to go in there. That dictator was wearing red underwear and dealing in witchcraft and drugs. Oh, I know some people say, hey, we put him there. Well, we did. And if we put him there, we can take him out. I'm pretty sure that's the way it was explained to me.
We're also getting complaints from various retail associations about the looting that was televised. They think you should condemn the looters and maybe have our troops shoot several of them just to show that we don't tolerate looting. They're afraid it will encourage looting in this country, and if you don't take some action, see? And so they're saying you're soft on looting, and they said to remind you that an off-year election is coming up.
Shooting looters? That's not why we invaded, Tom. I don't want to jump to any hasty conclusions, though. Have the boys over at Justice check it out and give me an opinion. If we can find a rationalization for it, we'll do it. I'm not soft on looters, Tom. Now, how is the plan going?
Well, we think that everything's going okay, but we did intercept a coded message that we don't understand.
What coded message?
Blessant mon cœur d'une langue monotone.
I've heard that before.
Yes, that was the coded message used by the Allies to announce the invasion of Europe on D-Day.
So someone else is planning an invasion. It just might be the Cubans or the Nicaraguans. Better step up just cause 2 and 3.
Oh, the invasions of Cuba and Nicaragua aren't scheduled for another month.
We may have to move quicker than that. Improvise. Keep me posted, Tom, and let me think about this red underwear thing.
Right, Mr. President.
Biff, this is Jimmy Grunt. I'm standing at the Pink Floyd wall here in London, where thousands of demonstrators have gathered to tear down this wall. You can hear them singing and chanting as they batter away at one of Britain's oldest landmarks, dating back to the clash between the Protestants and the Catholics during the time of Henry VIII, or one of the Henrys. Margaret Thatcher has called out the riot squads. You can hear the European sirens. I hate those things. More on this as it develops. Back to you, Biff.
All right, that was The Wall by Pink Floyd. Now, all you troops, we got a special request for you. We want you to hold your fire, 'cause walking through the gate and into the courtyard of the Vatican Embassy is none other than Michael Jackson and the Singing Nuns. So hold your fire.
There they are. They've made it halfway into the courtyard. If they can get inside the embassy, Mojo can cut the power and Sylvia can kill Noriega.
Jim, there's 2 helicopters circling above the courtyard.
I see them. Who is it?
Hang on, babies. We got 2 helicopters circling over the courtyard.
The helicopters do not bear the markings of any government. Speculation here is that this might be a rescue attempt.
Mr. President, turn on the TV. There are 2 helicopters circling above the embassy, and Michael Jackson and the Singing Nun are apparently about to enter the embassy.
What's going on, Tom? I don't want to be caught with my pants down.
They're at the door.
The door to the embassy is opening.
And the helicopters are coming in closer.
Sylvia's talking with an embassy staff person.
Hola.
Hola.
¿Cómo está usted?
Muy bien.
Yo soy amigo Ciernito Lindo.
Viva Zapata.
¿Qué?
¿Qué va?
Sí, ¿dónde está Noriega?
Noriega está en el baño.
Yeah, yeah.
They're inside.
Michael Jackson and the Singing Nun have entered the embassy, and now the helicopters are landing. The situation is tense. The troops are poised to fire.
Oh, babies, coming out of the helicopters is Edward James Olmos, Jessica Lange, Cher, William Hurt,
Robert Duvall, Brian Dennehy, Charles Durning, Ned Beatty, John Lovish,
Sean Penn, Judge Reinhold, Demi Moore, Lee Thompson,
and Robert Altman.
And the troops are cheering. This might be a USO show to entertain the troops.
Tom, did we authorize this?
Something's up, Mr. President. Maybe this is part of Jim's plan.
Find out right away.
Ed, I don't know what this is all about.
Some of the cast and crew are headed into the embassy. There's Babe Lunch, the famous Hollywood agent.
Ed, that man there, see him?
That's Carlos. Jim, somebody else is planning a hit.
He's going into the embassy.
Mr. President, we believe that the movie cast and crew may be a cover for a hit. This could be part of the plan.
I want our men to stand down. I don't want any Hollywood actors getting killed. There's no telling what color underwear those people wear.
Biff, the helicopters have turned off their motors. Wolfman Jack is not playing any music. For the first time in many days, we can all hear ourselves think. This does not seem to be a USO show. Indications are that Altman is shooting a movie with these folks. Camera crews have set up all around the courtyard. Jessica Lange and Cher are dressed as witches. They're standing around a large cauldron chanting.
Boil, boil, toil and trouble.
Power in the embassy just went out.
There are gunshots coming from the embassy. The troops are suddenly alert.
Get out of there, Mojo. Get out of there, Sylvia.
People are running from the building. Embassy staff, actors, actresses. Gunshots seem to have ceased.
There's Mojo.
Wolfman Jack seems to have disappeared.
There's Sylvia. Pack up and let's get out of here.
Don't I get to lift anything else?
We're not out of here yet, Ed. You may still have to lift something heavy.
The troops are holding their fire. Embassy staff are conferring with Commander Carson. The movie cameras are still rolling. Several of the actors and actresses have boarded one of the helicopters and it has taken off.
All right, babies, I'm back on the air. And what the hell is going on? Who hit me? Oh, let's just hear some more rock and roll.
I've been handed a brief statement by the U.S. command here at the siege of the embassy, and I quote, "Initial investigations indicate that deposed Panamanian dictator Manuel Noriega was assassinated by members of the Medellin drug cartel."
Sylvia, what happened in there?
We got in. I told him I admired his red underwear, and suddenly the helicopters landed, and everybody inside panicked, and then Carlos came in and
Arturo must have figured we couldn't do the job, so he sent in his own assassin.
I don't get it. Who's working for who?
And then Mojo blew the power, and everybody with a weapon opened fire. I think it killed Carlos.
Good.
What about Noriega?
Last I saw him, he was lying on the carpet.
News reports are already blaming the cartel. Good job.
Everybody grab a surfboard and we're out of here.
Once again, our top stories. Noriega has been assassinated by gunmen from the Medellin drug cartel. The siege of the Vatican embassy is over. President Bush denies any connection between the American intelligence community and the drug smugglers. And movie mogul Babe Lunch cancels plans to produce Yankee Go Home, saying it was too dangerous to work in an atmosphere of assassins. That's the Having a Good Time with the News show. For all of us, I'm Biff Revox. Good night.
You know, Biff, that photo of Noriega, it looks like a pineapple.
Heather, I think it is a pineapple. Yes, it is a pineapple. Someone assassinated a pineapple.
Now that would make a great movie.
Donde está Noriega?
Mr. President, it appears as if one of our hitmen actually killed a pineapple, and the pineapple industry is really upset.
It was a mistake. Just tell them it was a mistake.
Medellin drug cartel.
This is Tony, for Arturo.
Jim, you shot my assassin.
He didn't get Noriega.
And neither did your people.
All in a day's work.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the press. I have a short statement. I want to state that I believe the liberation of Panama was a great success. Any questions?
Mr. President, what was the reason for invading Panama?
Just cause?
If we invade Colombia, what will our reason be?
Just cause?
If we invade Nicaragua, what will our reason be?
Just cause?
Mr. President, didn't Panama have an election in 1984 and the leftist Arias Madrid was winning when we had Noriega seize the ballot boxes that announced that our candidate had won?
I'm not familiar with that episode. I was the vice president then.
What happens if the next time Panama has an election, a candidate that we don't want in wins?
Well, we're not going to sit around and watch democracy be subverted by the democratic process. We have our options. We always have our options.
And if another country calling itself a democracy were to invade us and snatch one of our leaders for trial, what would that be called?
A gross violation of international law and an outrageous act of terrorism, and we oppose that kind of thing.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Standing here in Miami, where word has just reached us that the pineapple killed in the Medellin cartel raid on the Vatican embassy was just a pineapple and not Manuel Noriega. And that, in fact, Noriega has surrendered and is being transported to Miami. Administration sources have denied rumors that the U.S. government threatened to kill a nun a day until Noriega was released. The helicopter should be arriving any minute.
You won't say a word about Bush and the drug running.
And I got a suspended sentence.
We can't get you a suspended sentence, Manuel.
North got off.
Come on, Manuel. North is an American Marine. He worked for us.
And I am a military strongman who worked for you.
There's no comparison. Anyway, the people won't buy it. You've got to do some time.
Work release, community service. I will tell kids not to practice witchcraft, not to do drugs.
No. I mean real time. I mean,
Even former Attorney General John Mitchell did a year and a half for his Watergate-related crimes. You can't expect to do less than that.
Then I may just have to talk about Bush and the CIA and the drugs.
Look, Manuel, I didn't want to have to do this to you because you've worked for us in the past and all, and we appreciate that.
And I appreciate you not surrounding the Vatican embassy so that I could escape there. And I appreciate you playing my favorite music on the loudspeakers.
Look, here's the thing. The press and the people are on our side. Now, you just don't have a lot of credibility. So if you start talking about Bush and the CIA and the drugs, well, not a whole lot of people are going to believe you.
Do you really want to put that to the test, my friend?
Okay, look, no reason to be hostile. This is just business. Now, how about you don't say anything, and you'll get 5 years at Eglin with possible time off for good behavior.
5 years? That is a long time. What is the man to look forward to during all of that time?
Well, I think you could look forward to the money set aside for you in the Swiss bank account, and the villa in an out-of-the-way country of your choice, and the money you'll make from your bestseller if you choose to write one.
Allow me to think about this.
Mr. President, it appears as if Charles Keating of the Lincoln Savings and Loan is personally responsible for bank crimes that will cost the American taxpayer over $2.5 billion. Some of the guys are wondering if we're going to go after him the way we went after Noriega.
Now, Tom, what Mr. Keating did is inexcusable, just inexcusable, stealing all that money, costing the hard-working American taxpayer so much money. I want it made clear we don't excuse Mr. Keating's crimes, but we have a system of justice, you see, a system of laws, and Mr. Keating is being pursued under that system. Now, I'm sure some people will say, that I'm tough on non-white foreigners who betray our intelligence community and oppose our double-standard-ridden foreign policy, but I'm soft on white American bankers who rob from the unsuspecting middle class. That's okay. They're entitled to their uninformed liberal opinions, but mark my words, Tom, and I say this with the best syntax I can muster, even though Charles Keating did more harm to more Americans than Manuel Noriega could possibly ever dream of, I'm not ready to abandon our peculiar institution of American justice. Not here in this country, not now, and maybe not ever.
Yes, sir. Also, some of the press people and some congressmen are asking if we're going to do anything about that American nun who was killed by the Contras in Nicaragua. They're suggesting that you were prepared to invade Panama when an American serviceman was killed, but were still aiding the Contras even when they start...
Now, Tom, stop right there. It's just not the same thing, don't you see?
No, I'm sorry, Mr. President.
You see, Tom, we've got a constitutional requirement to separate church and state. Now, if we were to cut off our aid to the Contras because they killed an American nun, why, we'd be violating the Constitution.
Oh, yes, sir.
Now, how's the plan going?
It's in effect, sir.
In Miami?
Yes, sir.
Good evening, Jim. Your mission this week, should you decide to accept it, is to arrange for the assassination of the deposed Panamanian dictator Manuel Noriega by members of the Medellin Colombian drug cartel. Noriega is currently being held at the American military compound in Miami. The compound is surrounded by U.S. Army troops. As usual, if you or any of your team is caught, you're up the proverbial creek without a paddle. Good luck. Oh, and Jim, because of new congressional regulations regarding the disposal of incriminating tapes, this tape will not self-destruct. So get rid of it.
That's it for this week. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's original radio play, Just Say Noriega, starring Ira Luft, Joan Larrick, Bill Hutchinson, Bob Fontenot, Sybil Odom, Bill Perry, Dave Grealish, and Sledge Miller.